Welcome to a new episode of Real Business Roundtable. Today we're going to talk about just say no to me in sales or any other salesperson that reaches out to you. It's about courtesy. It's about respect. If you have no intention on moving forward, please, for the love of God, tell them no.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. It's such a simple topic.
No ghosting. Ghosting.
One thing that I don't like about this topic that I'm going to say right off the bat is that that's like accepting, that's like accepting failure. But at the same time, listen, ready. If you're talking to a prospect, if you're a prospect of someone and they're emailing you, they're calling you, whatever it may be, if you're not interested, just say no. But as a salesperson, if someone says no, leave it alone. Send them, give them an excuse, right? I understand you're not interested in this at this time, right? That's okay. But sometime in the future, you may value what we bring to the table. So I'm going to send you updates here and there occasionally. We'll stay in touch, whatever. Maybe in a year, we'll discuss maybe another business opportunity, business relationship. But accept that they don't want to work with you. That's great. That's a great, because they're like, okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. You'll always be in the back of their mind. But as a prospect, if you're not interested, no, man, I'm not interested. You're saving both of you time. You're not going to get fucking annoyed, and they're not going to waste their time trying to prospect you and trying to email you and send you this, and they're on your list, whatever it may be. Just say no.
Yeah, when I have a salesperson that is offering something that I know maybe in the future I might want, I say touch base with me once a year.
Yeah.
Every 6 months. I give them like an expectation, a timeline. Have the respect and courtesy to tell them that. Say, hey, I don't want to keep ignoring your calls, but you feel free to touch base with me once a year. That's as long as it's something that you see maybe that you're going to use in the future, or maybe not right now because you have a vendor that does the same thing. Keep those doors open. Now, if it's something completely you have no interest in, tell them no. Just say, hey, no. And they might come back with as to why. Have the courtesy to tell them why.
Can you just, let's say, and this might be a really good strategy, because, as a salesperson, the best way to go and get in the door and talk to these people is going in as a consultant, as an educator, rather than as a salesperson going in and trying to pitch whatever it is. Yes, pitch, but and if someone says no, right? We pitch to someone, we send them an email, not interested at the moment. That's what 80% of the time is what they say. At this time, we're going to pass. Then you say everything I just said. Can you so let's say as a company, as a software company, you write blogs, a newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in conversation with them, can that be accepted as a way for you to send them the educational content that you put out? Because for example, we're talking to a automotive group, right? Big automotive group. They say at this time we're not interested. No problem. I'll stay in touch. I'll send you updates, this and that, whatever. In a couple months, every 2 months or so, you send them a blog that you wrote, something that's educational, that'll teach them about your technology without pitching to them. Can you automate that? Can you send that out to them just to be in touch, so that maybe they see something one day, they're reading about it and they're like, oh, this is really interesting. They learn more about whatever it is that you provide without you pitching to them.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing. That's a good strategy.
You're subtly selling through education,
which is what you want to do generally.
You're providing value. Value. That's the key, is to provide value.
Is there anything against being able to do that? Because that essentially, as I know, email marketing can be weird. There's weird laws about it. So I'm just curious if there.
That's a good question. If that's considered an opt-in, I would have to look into that.
Yeah, I'm curious, because that's a good tactic. Honestly, I don't know why. I just thought about it. It's interesting. But so there you go. I just gave you an idea of how to stay in touch with a prospect after they say no.
So
keep going.
Here's the thing. It just in our prior episode we were talking about values. So that's a value that I have. So when you're dealing with a salesperson, either tell them yes, no, or maybe so. If it's maybe so, always set a timeline on when they can follow up. If it's no, just flat out say no, just so you know. They're probably going to ask why. Should give them the courtesy to understand why. Is it the price? Is it the term? Is it just not a fit? And then if it's a yes, then hey, what are next steps? That's obvious. But it's really about courtesy and respect. Day to day, every single salesperson that calls me, I'm always respectful. I always listen. I always see if there's something that's a fit. And I have mentioned this before. I have vendors that I work with that because I'm open-minded and because I listened, it created massive revenue growth because I listened.
Yeah.
So the people that ignore the calls, oh no, spam, 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 spam. I'm not gonna get crazy. I'm not gonna get crazy. I'm gonna catch myself. But you're preventing yourself from possibly seeing opportunities. So what I do is I listen quick. I go, dude, get to the point.
Yeah.
Get to the point. They tell me, and I go, okay, yes, no, maybe so. So if it's maybe so, I say, call me in 6 months, call me once a year. Not ready right now, but I dig what you have. Let's talk again. But it's really about, because you're disadvantaging yourself if you're just doing a spam, like you're ignoring everybody. And then there might be a serious nugget of gold. Hold on 1 minute.
Yeah, I know.
I have gotten a cold call from a vendor that has produced massive growth. And I think in my head, I go, if I ignored that call, holy shit. But like I said in the last episode, the scary part is you never know. You'll never know what you didn't have. But that's the real creepy part. But yes, go ahead.
Do you know? do you know? I didn't want to forget this point. Do you know why you are in the position where you are open to talking to these people? It's
because I get it.
Thank you. It's because you're educated. It's because you understand it. So my point was, whatever business you're in, you're going to get cold calls. You're going to get people that are going to try to sell you. It's natural. There's certain things that you're going to hear about all the time. Educate yourself about this thing, whatever they're trying to sell you, because I can tell you right now, I've gotten calls and emails all the time. And this is going to lead me to another point where I'm like, okay, you do this. Awesome. How do you do it? Because I understand. I'm going to weed out the legitimate details so I understand if it's something that I don't already do, if it's something that they provide that's overpriced or priced well. I understand that market, and you're in the same position where you're going to answer that phone and you're going to hear, because yes, we could use that, but what is it that you provide? And that leads me to another thing. Well, to finish that off, educate yourself on these products or these processes, products, whatever it is that is going to be pitched to you, because that is going to allow you to be open-minded. That is going to allow you to take some of these calls and, understand what they're trying to sell you, and understand sometimes there's value in it. Is it a good price now? Is it this? Is it that? Educate yourself. And that's why whenever I call anyone to sell them, I'm coming in as a consultant, as someone to educate them, because they're getting calls all the time. But if I come in and educate them about something that I can provide to them, then they're going to be more likely to be like, okay, yeah, I want to learn more about this. Even if it's, for something in the future, I'm going to educate them. And it most of the time it works out. It's a great strategy. I follow it all the time. I educate people before I sell them because, just like I said before, you want to be educated. But that also leads me to transparency. The one thing that I hate, and I get as a business owner, I hate, is when people call me and they start pitching me. I don't want to hear your pitch. I don't want to hear an elevator pitch. Tell me exactly what it is. Be transparent. How much does it cost? What do you do? How often do you do it? I want to know the details. And so I think that there needs to be in sales, in business, everyone's tiptoeing around things to sell, to do this, to do that. I try to be as transparent as possible. This is what we do. This is what we've done. We can do it for you. This is how much it costs. Are you open to that? And then I show them I kind of walk them towards understanding the value in it. That's where the selling comes in. But like even with people you're calling, prospects, just be transparent. Just say yes. Just say no. Just say, oh, you know what? Our sales have been down. Like, you know what I mean? There's that transparency that people are missing. That
I think sometimes people are embarrassed if they can't afford it and they're not in a position to do something. There's a little bit of a pride thing where they don't want to say something. They don't want to say that they can't afford it. So I can understand that sometimes. 'Cause like we've had people that were like, yeah, I'm ready. And then it's like they're just, I'm like, what the heck? What happened?
No transparency there.
And then on the flip side, we're working with something like, yeah. And then boom, we do this big project and we blow him up and he's doing really well. We're getting a bunch of referrals and everything's great. And it's just kind of like there's two sides of the coin. But to save time and to be courteous and be respectful, we want the no. If you're not interested, say no. We move on.
Be transparent. Just say no.
See you later,
Yeah.
So it's like the whole well, I'm going to ghost you now. I'm going to read your texts. I'm not going to respond. It's just rude. It's just insane. And it makes me step back and go, I'm not sure if I want to work with this dude.
No. But it's also at the thing where it's like people act like shit is so secretive. Like, why can't you tell me this information? Why can't? Oh, we don't share this information. Like, why not? I'm trying to help you. Like, I don't. If it's
like the guys there where they teamed up and they were like, yeah, we're gonna go to the bank, and I'm like, go to the bank. Like they were trying to get like a loan or something like that, and then I kind of figured out, okay, the holdup was a financial thing. Because why did they need to go to the bank before signing a contract?
Well, at the same time too, it's like if they were transparent. I don't know. I mean, it's just.
I think that they saw what we did for other people in their industry, and they were on another side of the state, and they were like, "Hey, can you do that for us?" And of course, we're like, "Yeah, sure." And then when
this is how much it'll cost.
Yeah, when it came down to it, they were like, "All right, yeah, we'll book a kickoff and blah blah blah." Oh yeah, and then they said something about going to the bank, and the minute that they said that, I'll go, why? In my mind, I go, why are you going to the bank?
Well, I mean, it's an investment. I mean, that's just, I feel like that's normal, but at the same time, it's like.
I think that they possibly didn't get approved or something, and they're trying to stack up their cash, which is understandable. It's business. If you're not, my issue is express that to us. Don't leave us hanging. We want to know what's going on. But if you need to wait 6 months, just be transparent and tell us. There's no pride. I started my company from nothing, right? There was a struggle in the beginning. We understand that. Not everybody's ritzy, glitzy. Not everybody gets money from public trading. Not everybody gets a huge seed capital investment. Some people need to grind on a shoestring budget. I get it. There's no judgment. So just communicate that with vendors that call you that you ghost because you can't afford it.
At the same time,
I'll tell people straight up. I'll go, that's a little too rich.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, it's like I'm going back to the last episode, and I'm thinking to myself like you do have to be like it's like weird, like there's just some people out there who are just malicious,
dude. Sometimes sometimes vendors come to me with some interesting propositions, and I'm like, I could do this for like.
Half the price.
No, not even less. $2,000. These guys coming to me in their Zoom calls. We want $18,000. And I'm like, first of all, I understand sales. I understand sales recruiting. I could get this done for a fraction. Like one guy was like saying he could find us rock stars to come work for us, which is great. But they were really just running Indeed ads and just dealing with the screening. And they were asking for a fortune. I was like, dude, we already do this. You're just taking it off my plate. Is it really worth that much? And it was, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was a recruiting company and it was obnoxious.
And that's where the education process comes into hand, because we've had people come to us and they say 10x, 8x, 12x, 30x. And it's like great. I love the case studies. These are phenomenal. How do you do it? Because we know how it works. How do you do it?
Yeah, because that's what we do. We
dude, it's so
we grow businesses too, bud. What are you talking about? Yeah, are we talking about a digital play? Are we talking about traditional play? What are we talking about? Because we're in the business of growing businesses. So like,
we're in
they'll speak so high level to us that we're like, okay, that's our wheelhouse, but what and how?
But how exactly?
And then
that's
they're so cryptic.
Part. Yeah,
they're so, dude. I responded to an ad. Holy shit! It was nothing. So they basically pitched something in a way that you couldn't really tell what it was, and you saw people in the comments going, "What is this? What is this?" And then people were guessing, and it was exactly what people were guessing. But I called them and I was like, "Hey, so how do you do this?" And they said it, and I'm like, "Dude, I already do that."
But the point is that, but what they did actually worked. What they did actually worked though, because like they were cryptic enough where it's like people are gonna call in and ask. You may already do that, but another business might not, and they're gonna call and be like, "What is this? How do?" And they're gonna be like, "Well."
Yeah.
So I can't. They did a good job, Loki. Like that was like, yeah, they got you. No, but yeah, listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's episode of Real Business Roundtable. Be sure to click subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Be sure to follow us on Instagram. And thank you for watching our show and getting your MBA for free.
Peace out.